Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Akai and Hobby Talks. This is the finale episode, and I'm Hobby, and I'm joined with Akai as usual.
Hello guys.
And I'm also joined by an old friend of mine and also a friend of the podcast, our special guest Tigres. Tigres. Hello. Wow, we rehearsed this, man. Come on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
We
But
can
yeah,
say
here's
hi
my.
now.
We're first gonna chill out for a bit and just kind of hang out and while people kind of come in. But yeah, thanks for joining us, you guys. Hello, Finnicket, Knive, and Broken. What's up? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well.
Hey, bro. It's like Tigres.
Tigres! It's Tigres with 3 U's.
Oh man.
No, it's the SLS, man.
I thought you weren't gonna mention that.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Wait, I was gonna
to
say.
be honest with you, I was gonna mention that anyways. Oh yeah, but since you guys are here, by the way, real quick, please let us know if our audio is out of balance at all. If you think the music is too loud, or if one of us is too loud, like if I'm too loud, or Kai's too loud, or one of us is too quiet. So let us know, and we'll adjust to
On
make
the
sure
spot,
you guys
yeah.
can hear all of us well.
Yeah. Just let us know.
Yep. So Tigres, I want to know this. This is the question I have prepared for the podcast for this specific intro. Okay.
All right.
Have you actually been using your PS5?
Man,
Put his water down.
that hurts.
you grabbed your water. Well, you guys can't see it because we're on the other screen, but Tigres literally has a cup of water. He brought it up. He was about to drink it, and then he put it back down.
It hurts, man. Wait, is my Wait, so is our videos showing?
No,
not yet.
Podcast?
We
Not
only
yet.
started. We
Okay.
only changed that once we were talking about topics.
Okay.
Yeah.
But damn. I mean, my PlayStation. I mean, have you guys got PlayStations as well, right?
I don't.
Force?
I'm not a console person. I'm more of a PC person.
Okay,
Akai has a
right.
PlayStation, but he says he never plays it. But
Yeah.
I'm just curious because last time I talked to you during our prep thing, you said that you did play your PS5. So I'm curious what you played on it.
You know, I did say I was playing on it, but it was only for like 20-30 minutes until like I had to go to work.
Understandable, man.
Yeah.
Yo.
You know, you buy this like really treasured like PlayStation that everyone wanted, and they're like putting their lives and like lining up for the PlayStation. And you finally get it, and the moment you get it, you don't really use it. Kind of sad.
Yeah. I think the same thing happened to me. Because actually my friend bought it for me, but he was waiting in line and stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah. Because like stock and everything
I
in
don't.
the
It's
US.
kind of crazy how like hard it is to get a PS5 still. I didn't realize like it. Apparently like I hear like it's a thing. I hear like it's a thing for consoles to be hard to get at first, like right. But apparently due to COVID and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
it's just like really hard to get your hands on a PS5 still. People are still trying to get it, and I don't know how you guys managed to get it, but
I mean, I'm in Japan, so
is
it's
it
kind of
easier in
forgiving.
Japan to get?
I think it is easier.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
so
Patrick,
too.
what's
But
up?
in the US, yeah, the situation isn't as good.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the supply chain is going for
Bad.
PlayStation production, but
Mhm.
at the very least, I'm pretty sure it's mainly done in Asia. So it takes time to like be shipped outside of Asia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
I don't think it notifies you like the. So I wanted to test like the event feature in the workshop Discord server. If you guys, I'm curious if you guys even the people in chat if you guys have tried it out, but it looks like it doesn't like notify you, like it doesn't ping you like a little one in a way. It just has like a little icon or it says it's happening now or something.
See that? Yeah, I see that right now.
Yeah,
This is
so-
happening now. All right.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily ping you, but oh no. Yeah.
Should be fine.
But yeah, this should be an exciting podcast. I'm ready. This is our warm-up phase though, so we're just gotta warm up. a bit before, and then Tigres definitely muted himself again.
No, he did not. No.
I saw it. No, he did.
Oh,
I did for
okay.
a moment.
Okay, you
Were
did.
testing something again?
No, because I'm just so bad at technology.
Dude,
Uh-huh.
if you guys didn't know, Tigres actually, I'm gonna out you real quick. Tigres like found out about Steam like fairly recently.
God,
Oh,
it's like not only Steam but like games in general.
Games in general. What
Damn.
what were you doing before that? Just playing Osu? Like
Yeah, I was playing Osu for the most time.
you
It's
didn't
either
know,
that.
like-
Yeah. I mean, I've heard rumors that there's this thing called a PlayStation console or an Xbox.
How about Switch?
that's
Not
too
the
new.
Switch, actually.
That's too new.
That's too new.
Yeah.
Or Wii
A
U,
Wii, yeah, a Wii.
Wii U.
I think
And-
the last console I got was like a 3DS or something like that.
Oh, that's fair. That's about like
Yeah, that's good.
2010.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
PS Dove is saying Osu good game.
Oh,
Osu?
Dove.
Dude, Osu was like the pen spinner game. Like I don't know what the deal about it was, but during UPSB days it was like you're a pen spinner, you play Osu, you know.
Yeah.
And back in the forum days, you could also paste like your Osu embedded like rank and stuff onto your forum signature. So every time you posted something, you'll see how good you are on Osu.
Wait, that's actually a thing.
yeah, that was the
There,
thing
there
with,
was an Osu thread in V4, V5, I think. It
Really?
was the same with like League of Legends and all that, if I remember.
Oh.
Tigres sounding like an 50-year-old man recently discovering the internet.
Kind
Yeah,
of. Right?
You kind of you get really lazy trying to learn stuff like using the internet and all.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you're busy working. You're a salary man now.
Yeah,
And yeah, keeping
but
up with life.
I'm surprised that Dove plays Osu, so we can share some friend requests later.
Yeah,
Damn.
hit him up. Hit him up.
Hit 'em up for sure. But yeah, I think I need my water as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important, man. Which reminds me, you were like you in the past you two were talking about like Blackwater or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Akai
yeah.
doesn't like it. I was talking to Akai about like Blackwater.
What was that about?
Blackwater is like it's like a mineral infused water or some shit. Like, it's like one of
Okay.
those like fancy waters that are advertised to be like good for you, and they have like the pH level in it and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So I drank it a long time ago, like because my store that I worked at before had like all these hipster drinks. So there's this thing called Blackwater, and I just tried it. It just tastes like very dense water. It's hard to explain how it tastes like, but it's literally like
No,
the
no, no,
color
no,
is
no, no,
actually
no.
black.
It's thicker. It's not regular water, but it's a bit thicker.
That makes sense because it's like there's lots of minerals and stuff in it, right?
Yeah, like way more
It's like-
purified than
But it's,
purified.
the color of the liquid is literally black, so it's
Yeah.
like really weird. To,
Wait,
like,
it's actually black?
yeah,
It
go
is,
look
it
it up.
is.
Look it up on you, like Google right
Oh
now.
god.
And then
Yeah.
Akai like bought like a bunch of this Blackwater.
And
then
24
he, like,
bottles?
He drank some of it, and he was just like, "No, I don't like this."
Yeah.
He ordered like a freaking like 6-pack or some shit.
No, it was more than that. I think like 8 or something. I don't remember, but yeah.
Oh, so, like,
Blackwater
this
was
is
also a
legitimate
horribly
one. Oh,
evil
God.
U.S. military contractor. Okay.
I actually saw that yesterday. Wait, Padres, you might have saw it from Jake Tran, the YouTuber. There's like this conspiracy theorist YouTuber who like
Oh.
talks about all these like underground stuff. And I think
Mm.
Blackwater was like one of the.
So there's a conspiracy theory behind the product of Blackwater.
No, I don't
Blackwater
think so.
is like.
It's like a
Have you guys
special
heard of
name,
the?
I think.
Have you heard of like the freaking like cartel or something? Not is it a cartel or like a weird? There's like a conspiracy theory behind light bulbs. I watched like a Veritasium video about it. Like apparently they like general like what is it? like what their companies called. I forget all the companies already. But there's just like different major like light bulb manufacturing companies apparently all got together and were just like, hey, our light bulbs are too good, so we need to make them break faster so that people will still buy light bulbs.
Oh.
So they like signed an agreement together to like make sure that they get light bulbs to last a very specific amount of time, so it benefits every like different competing like company.
That sounds like every iPhone screen, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there was like a big thing about iPhones being like oh, the battery's dying or something really fast and stuff like that. But you know,
man, capitalism, man.
Oh.
What's the thing? That's why you have iFixit though. iFixit like has all those like tools, those proprietary screwdrivers that you can, where they have like square. There's weird things where they have like square screws and like proprietary screws that you can't take out with your like normal screwdriver. It's really weird.
Didn't know it could get that gimmicky.
Yeah, I actually fixed my Xbox controller in the past. Like this is not the one, but like I had like a mushy button like on one of them, like on my A button or something, and I took it apart and I had to ask my dad for like parts because he used to work at a phone shop, so he would find like screwdrivers for me, and I
say no more. I can't do technology.
He's so done. I'm so done. Yeah. All right.
Use whale oil lamps. Yeah.
Oh, that's Shonen. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
hey.
Shonen.
Nice.
Damn.
I see some familiar names. I see Mizushi.
Lots of people hanging out
well.
with us today. It's cool.
Yeah.
Is it a lot?
Yeah, this is more than usual for sure.
Okay.
They like Tigres, man.
We can bring in more people, right?
They're Jonathan fans.
Oh, Jonathan. Hello, guys. Yeah.
That's so awkward, Jesus.
Oh my God, I can't. No, but it was real. Yeah, it was real.
Wait, was it my delivery that was bad there? Or
No, mine.
Akai's.
Because I kind of followed like what you started on.
Come on, were you just like taken aback by that? You weren't ready like for me to go that route?
I think we're all just really nervous right now.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of this, though, is just to like warm up, right?
Right.
I guess, yeah.
And
we were really nervous like in the previous podcasts as well.
Oh, I thought it was just me. It was like weird for me because I was like the hosting person. It was so stressful for me back then. I don't know how.
It's hard hosting, man.
It is.
Yeah, but I think Hobby feels more comfortable now, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
After a while, yeah.
Yeah, when you do it after a while, it's just practice, really. You just have to do it more often, and then it will get easier as time goes on, right?
I mean, any tips on how to be a good host?
Know how to speak good.
Speak good.
Know how to speak good.
Define good. Define good.
You just have
Tough
to
question.
Just be like, I don't know, just be entertaining, I guess, and be like able to talk about the things you want to talk about without like explaining it in a very like convoluted way kind of thing. Like try to get your ideas across without making it difficult for other people, I guess.
So communication skills.
Yes, communication skills.
Ooh.
Oh.
I mean, I did this for it's funny because UPSB Talk Show was the thing. Some of you guys might not know this, but there was a podcast before AHT. AHT was not the only podcast I've done, and UPSB Talk Show was the thing when the forum was around, and the forum it was just I don't know. I just decided to do a podcast and get a bunch of people. Tigres was actually there. Tigres was one of the people that was in my podcast back in the day.
Mm.
And that's why Tigres is like an old friend of mine, really. And Akai got to know Tigres as well. And he's a friend of the podcast. You know, it's a good time. We talk privately sometimes as well. So it's not like Tigres is like not really a stranger to us. It's not just like we're interviewing him today or anything. So.
Yeah. It feels like I've known him for a while. So
It feels like
I
I've
mean-
known you for a while, Akai, and it's only been like a year or so,
oh, okay.
right?
Who? Tigres or
You,
me?
yeah,
No, we talked back then, right? So
yeah. Well, not that much. I only met you like once in Tiny Chat, dude.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Hey! We did have a Tiny Chat Express
Together, right?
collaboration.
Yeah, that's
videos.
true. That's true. We did that. I
Yeah,
remember
with,
that. I
with the
forgot that you were
bands.
part of that, dude. I
Yeah,
forgot
that's
you were part of
intimate, man.
that. Yeah. This is when bands was on Discord or something, right?
Yeah, you were doing Akai, you were doing this weird like fingerless extended thumb round, and it didn't look like a fingerless extended thumb round. It looked like Jaggered, and I was like, wow, how did he do that?
Can you do that again, Kai? Do
Wait,
you want
what?
to show us?
What did I do? Wait.
You did this like fingerless extended thumb round, but
Uh-huh.
like it had like 0.5 rotations only.
Oh, was it like instant? Like that?
Yeah, I was like, how?
I mean, was it on accident? Was it on purpose? I don't know.
I think
Was
it
it?
was on accident.
Wait, was
but,
it
like,
his like clip for excuse me? Was it his clip for the Tiny Chat Express?
Yeah.
So then we can go back and look at it later. But yeah,
But yeah.
actually that's the clip that I used for the Nobody PV. With the
Wait, the one with the MX?
no, the glow
Wait.
up is PV. Remember the glow up one?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Nobody.
Oh,
PV,
yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
let's
the-
change to our camera so Akai can show his thumb around.
Okay. Let's do it.
He can't.
All right. So what
He
were
can't
we
do
talking
thumb
about
round.
again?
Yeah, you were doing some thumb around thing, right? In the TC Express.
Oh, this thing, right? I always do
Wait.
my TA extended.
That's too much. That's too much rotations, man.
I think I still have the video clip. I have to go find it though.
I do 1.5s now, so
Let me look it up. Let me find it. Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on. Video, completed video projects, Nobody PV, Spinners, Akai for Rainbow? No, that's a different thing. That's your
an-
recent one.
yeah.
Where's the old video? I don't remember.
In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, you guys could just type it in the chat as well, or just
Yep.
chill in there, as usual.
Akai is confused.
Yeah, I
see,
am.
I'm being a host as well.
There you
Yeah.
go. See,
You
you
are.
learned very fast from the UPSB talk shows back in the day.
I think there was Reason as well.
Yeah,
at the
Reason is
time.
just easy. Like he's actually made for podcasts just automatically. I think.
His voice was really deep as well, so people were like, "It's Reason."
Yeah.
Oh.
Was it his finisher? Like you're talking about Akai's finisher?
Finisher.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It doesn't look like a fingerless
It
extended.
doesn't even
thumb, bro.
rotate. It's like it doesn't
Yes.
even move.
I'm like, how does he do that?
Wait, what? I'm still confused.
Yeah. Wait, should I
you gotta-
screen
you-
share it?
I don't think you.
No.
could, but you
It's
can
gonna mess up the layout.
Get, yeah, you can get.
You can link it.
Share
you
it.
can link it.
Link it to chat.
No, but I have the video, not the freaking. I have the video file. I don't have the actual like because it's a special video, right? It's from ages ago.
Oh. All right.
But
I
I see
can
what
watch
you're
it later. I can watch
People
it later.
are asking
man.
questions now, so let me just ask. Let me just answer those
While you
one by
like
one.
rope your freaking bag of mods.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Tigres, show us your favorite MX. Okay. Let me get my MXs first then. How long are we chilling? Just 30 minutes?
No, we usually chill for like 10 to 15, but we're
Okay.
going
Fine.
with the flow right now, guys. We're going with
Oh,
the flow.
okay. Okay.
So
I gotta
answer your
say-
questions, and then we can get into the topics.
Yeah,
We have some cool topics for you guys today. So
this is my favorite one.
the reason.
The Reason. People don't know it's a Reason MX anymore. It's either
Really?
mine
It's just
or it's
me?
either mine or it's either Michi's like MX.
Really? People don't know that?
I don't think people know these days.
It's just me that knows that? That's just sad.
Like
It's
nobody uses insert anymore as
Me,
well.
me and Baron were probably the only two people that know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure JV
Mainly-
people know, but
Mainly for old people. Actually, recently though, I do have this Green Moons MX, which is actually.
it looks blue on my
Fancy.
screen.
Oh really? It's green, man.
It's like a mix between the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks kind of blue on mine. It's
When
kinda
it's
weird.
far away, it looks like green, but yeah, when it's closer, it's pretty blue. Yeah.
Top 5 CVs of 2021. This could be a good end of year episode. I mean, oh man, that could be good content as well. Now I think about it.
You should do that for your own stream.
I should do that. I should do that.
I don't know if we're in the market to do that because I don't know what I can say. To be
You're
honest,
you're in in the market.
in the market. I don't know.
I don't know. That
honestly.
just sounds that sounded strange.
Yeah, I know it does sound strange.
We got a market.
We got market, guys.
Got a market.
I haven't really seen.
It's not really a thing that we do on our podcast, so that's why.
I mean, do you see CVs a lot?
I
these
do watch
days?
CVs a lot, but most of the time I'm like super picky about stuff, so I
Mm.
really don't like
Oh.
talking about it because I just end up complaining about stupid things that only I care about and no one else does.
I think that's exactly what people want to hear, though.
Exactly.
Maybe,
That's what
like,
I told him.
Tigres, invite me on your show, and then I'll talk about it. I'll rant with you, okay?
All right, let me try to figure out how to use this stream. Then
Oh, okay.
I need to work on that first.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys wanna jump in? Are we gonna start?
sure.
Who wants to start, or do you want to start with Tigres just because he's the
It's the host.
host now? He's the host. You can take
Oh
over.
shit, I'm the host.
Yeah, you can take over AHT after this.
Yeah.
First of all, I won't.
But yeah, so real quick though, I'll just let you guys know if you don't know what Tigres does, or I mean he's a friend of ours and I'm sure you guys know him. But Tigres is actually the main organizer of the World Tournament 2021, and he's been organizing a lot of the tournaments so far in the past couple of years. You probably know him from the the SLS stuff. If you're new, you probably like seen all his videos on like the simple linkages or the PVG or whatever you want to call it, Project Vanguard. And Tigres is also like he lives in Japan right now. He's been part of UPSB in the past, and he's also part of the JB community a bit. So he has like different experiences from and knows kind of like both cultures and like of the different communities. So it's really interesting to hear a lot of his insights about that.
Yeah. That's why we have
Isn't
him
really
here.
much of it. So.
Are you sure? Usually I hear stuff like, "Oh, well, Kabu thinks that Toro sucks," so
Oh god.
and I'm just like, "Oh, interesting,"
Wow.
Fire.
Yeah, I mean that is good to have some like different input as to like the pen spinning scene in general, right? So that's why we have him here,
Man.
and I'm so happy.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, do you want to start, or should Akai start?
No,
Akai,
I mean, we can-
Akai, come on, you can't keep a straight face.
you don't do me like that, okay?
Jonathan!
Okay.
Alright,
I mean,
yeah.
just before like I wanna like just flounder around my insights per se, but so as the title of the podcast, you can see it says moving on, and we were talking about this around like 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Actually,
It was last week, right?
yeah, we can go back actually. Back a bit further, saying like when I was first got the impression of Akai Hobby Talks, and then see like how it connected to me being the last guest here for the final episode. Like it was when people saw the AHT, people thought it was Akai Hobby Tigres.
Yeah, that's the
But then
funny
it was
one.
Akai Hobby Talks.
Yeah. I think it was Isaac or something who guessed that. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think Isaac was the only person who actually guessed it properly. Like everyone else was just saying random things. They're like, "What
I
is
mean-
AHT?"
T part is Tigres,
Mhm.
just for people to know.
Now it is.
Um,
Now it truly
now
is.
it
Bro.
is, yeah.
Now it is.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, just out of curiosity, it wasn't like that, right?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, it
Black
was.
Monday.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Yes, it was. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
yeah.
Akai Hobby Jonathan.
Yeah,
It's-
of course.
yeah.
AHJ.
HJ.
It sounds like some airplane company or something. I don't know.
like the freaking model number or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, like I was listening to a lot of the past podcasts, and the titles are always like really simple, but like kind of like it has the vibe that every episode has like its own moral or like a thematic thing,
Mhm.
and I mean, compared to the UPSB talk show that Hobby and I had in the past, it's a lot more relaxed. But at the same time, I think because it was like a relaxed sort of vibe, it kind of gets easier to talk about more deep stuff, if
Mhm.
if that makes sense. So
And
yeah,
I'm sure
I
we'll
was
get
kind of
into some of that later on in this
hopefully,
podcast as well. Yeah.
hopefully. Yeah, so it's an honor to be
Yeah.
invited to the
Yeah,
podcast.
of course, man. I
course.
actually remember when we first talked to you. Like I started talking to you again in voice, right? It's been a while, and then I started talking to you again. You're just like, and I got Akai in the. We talked privately, so I got Akai in the voice chat, and we talked to Tigres, and I was like, hey, maybe you should get onto the podcast sometime. And that was like early on. I'm pretty sure that was like super early. Like it was like maybe March or something. It was like mid-year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, was it that bad? Was it
Yeah,
that
it was a
far
long
back?
time ago. And I
Wow.
remember
Yeah.
suggesting that, and we were just like, hey, hey, we're finally gonna do it. It's December.
Yeah,
Here
it
we
took
are.
it took a while, right? It took a while.
It took
for
a
us.
while, but that's
Yeah.
just how we kind of have to do things, just because, I don't know, we're just relaxed and want to do it that way, I guess.
Mhm.
I just,
Yeah.
you just kind of want to get away from all the stresses of things, I guess, especially with pen spinning being on social media and everything's on social media and COVID, and just you need a break. That's why it's nice to talk to people like Akai and Tigres. It's very chill. Although when I talk to Tigres, we talked like I talk to Tigres privately, we talk a lot about serious topics. So that's
A
probably
lot of
something.
theory.
Yeah, a lot of theory things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So moving on,
Yes.
as the title suggests.
Mhm.
I think from last week we wanted to talk about, well, first what we sort of intend to play in a role in the community,
Mhm.
and how it started and all that, and at the same time we can also talk about what we want to do in the future, or in the near future, or what we plan to do. And so since I coincidentally became the organizer for the World Tournament this year.
Which is actually not like a commonly known thing, right? I don't think like everyone knows it. Like it's not
Not-
like
I mean, I intended to not really release my name as an organizer until like
right.
till the near end, because I mean there's many reasons, but I think the biggest reason that I can publicize, if I say, is that it's just easier to move that way. Like with a lower profile, it's easier to approach people saying like, if I talk to a random person that I need help with and say, hey, I'm the organizer, it's gonna like, I don't know, it may like interrupt with like the communication line and all that. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's the organizer, I must be like really proper, and that might
Oh.
be like cause like not like dishonest, but like maybe like some sort of miscommunication, and I want to avoid that. And as a result, like having a lower profile might have been a better key for it.
Okay.
And that's also something that I think all three of us kind of do, because we don't really like talk about a lot of things super publicly. Obviously, we make Akai makes content like videos and stuff. He talks about certain things. I like write articles and do stuff, but we don't really like address a lot. We don't really like talk a huge ton about things
Mhm.
publicly. We just kind of keep to ourselves, which is something I think that we have in common in that sense. Because I
Yeah,
don't know, it's just I don't know. I just feel like it's more comfortable that way. I've always been kind of that person. Like in terms of communities, I've always been that kind of person to just meet people in a community, like make friends there, and just kind of like talk to those friends instead of always talking to the community. And especially when the workshop becomes my job, and it kind of is like it's like a volunteer job in a way. Like you kind of want everything to do, like to just don't want to be there because like that's just your job, and I just don't want to be there because you're just working at that point. So
Yeah, like you're the only one who can do it in the end, so like you
yeah.
just got to do it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
especially when you're a moderator, that's partially why I've stepped down as a moderator, is because when you're in the workshop and you're a moderator, it's like you always have like the constant, like, always have to be there. And once you're there, even if you're just hanging out, when someone steps out of line, like you're obligated to say something about it or do something about it. And
Mm.
if you don't do something about it while you're still in chat, that means that it's acceptable to do it because you're there and you didn't do anything about it. So it's like this extra pressure when you're just in the chat. And that's why I have so much respect for all the people who help moderate the workshop, like Padres, of course, that's in the chat right now, you know, Pong and Letho, especially. He's obviously very experienced with dealing with moderating stuff. And of course, Coffee. So, you know, I have like a ton
Oh,
of appreciation for those guys for sure.
It sucks because like every word that you sort of put out online is gonna be kind of used against you in a
Yeah, and
way.
it'll be interpreted in different ways, or people will
Yeah,
take it in the wrong way, and there'll be some sort of miscommunication thing.
yeah.
It's just, I find it really like unnecessary, or like just like it just makes it easier if honestly you just talk to each other like in voice and just understand that. Like if I talk to you, like certain things you say in like with your actual human voice will not translate in the same way if you just typed it exactly word for word like in text, because sometimes it just ends up being super stiff, or like the tone doesn't transfer, and then the text form will just sound super sarcastic or like something along those lines. So it's
yeah.
just, you know.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
But since we're on this topic, maybe I should get into workshop stuff.
Go on.
Oh.
Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Prompt me, guys. What should I talk about the workshop? What do you guys want to hear me talk about?
You
Because
said you sorry, I
no,
can talk,
go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry
Okay,
to
no, no, no,
interrupt
no,
you,
it's
but
fine.
yeah, but you mentioned that you stepped down as moderator, so
Mhm.
like I assume that the reason for stepping down is, as you mentioned, that there's this like constant pressure that's like chasing you and all that. But you also at the same time had that a feel of responsibility of like moderating the community still.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But like I guess if there's any difference between stepping down as moderator, I guess you're like doing something else for the community
Yeah.
for the workshop instead of just moderating.
I
So
mean,
maybe
it's
we
not
can go
like
on that.
I completely do not do any moderating, because I'll still like if there's a situation, I'll still offer my opinion if I need to, or like if there's something that I need to bring up to other moderators, and I'll tell them. But like it's not like I completely don't moderate, or like if I see something and I'm there and I'm not like not having it, then I'll just say something about it. But it hasn't really happened that often though, because workshop is honestly pretty chill, to be honest. But
Mm.
like it's not like I'm completely out of moderating. It's just like it makes it like moderating is no longer my main role. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
no longer like I always have to be on. Like I always have to be like there to be a moderator, rather than like, oh, I can just hang out in my server, you know. And sometimes it's nice to do that. That's what I did the other day. I was talking like Salty and Morris, and I was like, oh hey, you know, how's your World Tournament combo? Did you? And he's like, yeah, I filmed it. You know, we're just chatting. It's nice to like just talk to some of the people in the community once in a while without having like this. I don't know. I think people still have that though. I feel like if most people, especially new people, because like that's just what happens, you get like this intimidation thing, or like this like starstruck thing where people are scared to talk to you because you have like either a big name or everyone knows you or something like that. And in
Yeah,
reality, we're just like human beings, right? And,
that's why
we
it's
just
better to just have a lower profile in
yeah.
general. Yeah.
Did that
I
answer your
mean,
question? I already forgot what your original question
yeah,
was.
I think it did. I mean, since Akai is just keep on spinning, I want to give the baton to Akai, but
But
you,
okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
you know, in relay races, I know what you're talking about
yeah,
because
yep.
I got you. I
Mm-hmm.
got
all
you.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So Akai, like we haven't really talked much. I mean, compared
Right.
to you
Mm-hmm.
and Hobby, but
Mm-hmm.
like from the first time I heard about you was well, actually before I
Is,
did know about you,
wait,
but
before
like
you
we,
say
we
it, like,
Uh-huh.
is it the Japanese motion?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
it was
Because
before
you
that? Oh,
made a
wow.
Japanese motion like video, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did make that. I remember.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, go ahead. I'm interrupting, guys.
I mean, that's fine. Like, so from what I've been told from Hobby is
Mm-hmm.
you're sort of this active like contributor to the community in Vietnam, despite that you're in the States. So like I was wondering what the background was about that.
Hmm.
So like why instead of like UPSB, it's like more focused on Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, maybe I started pen spinning very early of 2011. So it was 2020, 2010 when I first moved here to the
Mm,
US, right? So
right.
I was like I didn't know much about like UPSB and other forums. So
Huh.
I was looking for like sort of a community that I can actually use my language. So I found out about VNPSB before
Okay.
knowing about UPSB afterwards. Yeah. So I joined when I first started, and I made some friends there in Vietnam, despite the fact that I'm living here, right? So
Mm,
it kind of, how do I say this? I'm feeling like I'm more attached to that community, in a sense.
right.
And well, I mean, I did join UPSB for not our tag, right? What was it called? Like Express, Tiny
Mini
Chat
chat.
Express. Yeah.
Right.
With
So I
bands, the legend bands.
yeah, and
FPSB.
I thought it was really cool to have that feature in a forum, so I can just like randomly join, and even though I wasn't like good at spinning or anything, like I didn't want to show myself much, but yeah, because I started with VNPSB, that's why I'm still here with VNPS, and even now I feel like I'm more into like the whole like international or universal sense of the pen spinning scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I like talking to like people from different communities and see what they think about the hobby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here. Like, oh, I started talking to hobby again and you, and getting to know you guys better and better every day.
Right.
So
I
it's
mean, as you're getting more passionate about your speech, I hear you like moving closer towards the mic. You're just like getting louder.
no, it's just me like moving around like this,
Oh,
like shaking or something. Yeah, but yeah, and that's why I stick with it till now.
Right now, you make a lot more content on your YouTube for the Vietnamese community. So, like, I guess
Mhm.
before there wasn't really much videos for the Vietnamese community. It was more like for other languages, like
Right,
English
right.
and all that. Right.
Or yeah, or there's a lot of like tutorials and like tricks and linkages and stuff. Like mostly like your SLS, right? Like type of content. So I wanted to kind of like bring something new to the hobby and to the content world. That's why I started
Right.
making like more of like talks, like podcast vibe to it. And I'm just sharing this with you guys, like talking about like how like what does it have to wait, what is it? Like how does pen spinning relate to my like pretty much personal life and what I get to learn from it as well. Yeah.
It's a lot more reflective in your videos now.
Yeah. So yeah, the title is initially Akai and pen spinning stories. So
Nice.
yeah,
Oh, really? That's what it means?
yeah,
When you talk about like interesting concept you take from other parts of life and you incorporate it into pen spinning. And I mean, you're the very much like the essence of like the lifestyle pen spinning guy, and I think that's a really cool thing, to be honest.
yeah. And I feel like when I first discovered like what I wanted to do, I was so like happy. Like I just wanted to keep moving since 2017, I guess. But now it kind of dies out a little bit. But
No.
hopefully, because I'm shifting towards a more like what is it, like ideas or philosophical approach to what I can
The
do.
thinker,
Ye-
the thinker.
yeah, and trying to
Kai's
like
manifesto.
got to,
We need you to guide us continuously for our pen spinning roads.
yeah. But yeah,
You're our savior.
after
It's actually, I know it's like a joke, but I feel like Tigres, like I remember you talking about it on the forum, Tigres, and actually on UPSB there was a section on the forum like that was literally labeled philosophy, and it was like we talked about this
Oh
before.
yeah, yeah.
It's like it's interesting how pen spinning just devolves into like freaking philosophy after a while. And it always does that for some reason. And it's like society and culture and like all this stuff.
yeah, definitely.
For sure. And
I can't
Akai's
help
doing the
it.
philosophy side of it, I guess, which is really fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really fun because when I talk to him, we can throw around ideas about that stuff.
Yeah,
And a lot of the
joke
time,
around
actually,
it.
he actually sometimes we're talking privately, and Akai's like, "Oh, that's a good idea," and he'll write it down on a sticky note for like his own like video.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
what do you mean by like philosophy and pen spinning in general, though? Like morals or like is
Just
there
like
like
your
an
approach, I
example?
think. It's like
As
your
in,
approach
like,
to pen spinning and stuff like that.
To me, it's more like, like why do we do it for?
Yeah.
And
Why do we pen?
why do we pen? But
What is a
yeah,
pen?
but yeah. So that's about it. Yeah, why do we do it for? And
But it's like, yeah, it's like, then that's where like all the lifestyle spinning stuff comes in, and like
Yeah.
how you like how we enjoy pen spinning and how, you know,
oh, and especially how like outsiders, like the people who are not in the scene, perceive of us. Like how
Right.
do they see us? Because I've seen a lot of like misconceptions or misunderstandings about people who are pen spinners, and most of them are negative. So they have a different perspective for people who enjoy pen spinning. So I want to change that in a way, yeah. But especially from the inside out, instead of like, oh, I want to advertise it for the outsiders. No, I want to all the participants, no, the people who enjoy the same hobby to have similar like conception of like how they play into society, and
Right.
it's not a bad thing. Like pen spinning looks like very like time consuming thing to do, and you can't really focus on your studies and things like that, right? So I want younger spinners or new generation, they can enjoy it without thinking that it's a bad thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Wonder
actually,
what the. Actually, go on.
oh, I don't know how long your thing was going to be, but mine was going to open up a different can of worms. So if you have something to say real quick, you should go say it first.
No, it's okay
Okay,
because
I was
like
gonna ask Akai because I think all of us kind of like have our own ideas of like about pen spinning. We all have our own like perspectives, and from our experiences, we think a certain way about pen spinning,
Right.
like how certain people should act or how we should act as being like a role model and stuff like that. And it's interesting because I think, I mean, this is a bit of a, we don't really we can touch on this. Obviously, I don't really want to get in too deep into it, but I think it's interesting thing that we have to do to kind of tread the line between like how do we like teach pen spinners about things without quite like preaching to them too hard about what is the right way to do things and you have to do it this way.
I think for me, I look at other pen spinners as my friends, and makes it easier for me to kind of share my ideas and put out an attitude saying like, this is what I think, and
So it's more like
yeah.
it's less like
less
like you
like
have
what's
to, like,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like less like you have to do this
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to be good or something. It's more like I feel like this would benefit you or something because
Yeah.
it really ends up being like the way you explain things to people, I think, and the way you teach things to people, I guess, right? It just depends on how you say things at the end of the day, I think. And I think that's the real difference, I guess, is what I'm getting at from your answer.
Yeah, that's
Because it's
fair.
a tough thing. I mean, in the past, I used to rant about things like a lot of other people too. Like I mean, like I grew up in pen spinning, and I've had like, and all of us has had
We all
our
yeah.
cringy like teenage phase and like all sorts of phases, right? So we've all been there and understood that. And so when I see people like ranting about things, like I understand that, and it's interesting. But I don't know. I guess it's like finding a way to use your energy to actually like be or have it be more beneficial than rather be aggressive, I guess.
Kind of a never-ending cycle, right? Where
Yeah.
like when we were young, it's like, oh, those were the days, kind of. Then now we're
Mhm.
like, okay, we were really idiots back in those.
Yeah, naive and ignorant,
Yeah.
and like, why would you do these things? Like.
But then, like after years, we kind of found out like there are more inside of pen spinning or
Yes.
in a hobby in general, right? So,
Or
I
just
guess
even like getting more life perspective just from talking to other people in real life and understanding how to talk to people. Because when you grow up as like a freaking nerdy like pen spinner person, you just talk to people online and stuff. You don't really go out to see the world. At least some people are like that. I was kind of like that, and you just until you grow up and kind of like talk to people more, you kind of understand like why is this subculture in particular like this way, like, or why is it like this? And it's interesting also because the internet is full of them now. There are subcultures everywhere.
right,
There's like a thing for everything. Yeah.
and that's
So
great
if you're
for
interested in something, there's a
spinning.
Reddit for everything. There's a subreddit for everything. There's a Discord server for everything, anything. So it's certainly an interesting time to be on the internet. For a 50-year-old Jonathan.
Yes. And I think like that makes it even more important to like not like just listen to another person's opinion and just like just dish that away and say, oh, that's his opinion, but like actually listen into the opinions like with the attitude of thinking, hey, this guy might actually have a say on something, and let's actually like examine what the actual content of what he's saying is, instead of just like blatantly like just denying that it's like, no, this is different from what we've thought before, so therefore it's wrong,
Yeah,
like kind of a more inclusive kind of thinking.
And having a healthy conversation, which is something we've talked about before, right?
Yeah.
right.
And
yeah,
it's tough, I know. It's not easy to talk to people who are like who disagree with you, but it's not really about that. It's more about not really about who disagrees with you. It's about like how are they willing to listen,
and
Are they
that's
willing to
that's a
put the
skill.
time?
Yeah,
Yeah, are they willing to listen to you, and are you willing to listen to them? That's really what
do you care enough?
yeah, exactly. That's really what makes the conversation healthy and like a discussion about different opinions be a good thing. But I think especially with social media and on the internet, it's really easy to just go into like these like, oh, this sucks, and then that's it. Or like, oh, I don't agree with you, and that's it. Like, and that's fine, I guess, if you and that's fine, I guess. But in order to like kind of understand everyone's perspectives and like really find the best answer to things, especially with like something like World Tournament where everyone has an opinion on how the criteria is and how it's organized, like that's how we make better decisions and make a better tournament for you guys to enjoy, right? So, and that's really like makes sense why Tigres is bringing that up because he is the organizer of that tournament. So
Yeah, true. I mean, since you touched on the World Tournament thing, like we can go on with that.
yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think World Tournaments in general has started like basically 2007 when Crash has like created this whole international program by collecting all like Korean spinners, Japanese spinners, English spinners, like
So
all
Crash was
everywhere around.
Korean,
Crash was English, I think.
English, because
Yeah,
I feel like there's different. Oh wait, well there's a Crasher in JB,
yeah.
right?
Crasher is JB. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and but so nobody really thought of how to like make a judging criteria or how to organize a tournament in for pen spinning, not only because there has never been, but also because the community was relatively young at the time. But since there was like this whole fruitful discussion within all communities at the time, they were able to create something that's been a legacy as of now. But I think the current problem right now is, as we have discussed before, how the internet has diversified so much
Mm-hmm.
that like there's like memes and like all these. I call them distractions. I'm not sure how other people call them,
Shit
but like
posting.
yeah, like it's really difficult to have a sort of serious
Or like a
focused
human, even
discussion.
just a human conversation with people
Yeah,
because
especially if it's all on text. If it's
yeah,
on voice, it might be a bit different, but I feel like
I
that's
think I
even difficult as
watched
well.
a Vsauce or some sort of video, not video, and they I forget who it was, but they made a really good point, which was like because of COVID, like technology and social media or like whatever, it helps bring us together and be able to talk to each other, right? But the downside of it is that it also has the ability to separate us because
Right.
that involves like anything that allows us to have like any sort of social human interaction, it's obviously going to have the other side too,
Right.
which is being able to divide us in our opinions. Or and you can see it if you ever follow like like politics on Twitter or like anything like any viral like news that happens or big controversial things that happen, and that's just very obvious that it can go either way, I guess, and that's
Yeah,
what you can see a lot in social media these days.
and under that in pen spinning context, it's like, especially for this tournament, is like, um, what about Saltian's combo? Is that 0 to 10
Can
execution,
you
or is that
talk a
something
little
else?
bit closer to the mic?
Oh, sorry. I was getting closer to the computer instead of the mic right here.
You're too used to talking from your laptop microphone, dude.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I mean, but going back, yeah. So you're talking about how the internet sort of makes it easier
Hmm.
to separate people
And you
because there's so
mentioned
much like
Saltian.
opinions. Yeah. So like, in this tournament, there's been a bit of a talk about the how outdated the criteria might be, and also the organization, how the format of the tournament is. I mean, it may not be, but like we wouldn't know until we actually have a conversation where we sort of tolerate different opinions. And this goes with like in real life as well, in order to have like some sort of a discussion that can make things good, make things move forward. It, we have to sort of list out as many opinions as possible, find out what their sort of sharing characteristics, and then see what we can do based on that. And in pen spinning context, I think um, we don't really have like a floor where everyone has a voice to share, and at the same time, they are not hostile, and they're comfortable to say their own opinion without worrying about people just like canceling their opinion.
Canceling. Okay.
Like that's how I see it these
Man.
days. It's usually like the objective is a bit different too, right? Where I think in politics nowadays it's more like if my opinion doesn't match with yours, I have to prove you wrong ruthlessly.
Mhm.
Whereas in like there is really no right answer in pen spinning as
Right.
far as I understand with my 10, 11 years of pen spinning. Since there is no one right answer, there has to be this sort of inclusive way of thinking and evaluating pen spinning in a way that it may not make everybody happy 100%, but at least make it understandable from a stance like
Man, it
that.
is politics because now we're talking about fucking compromise, man.
Is compromise that difficult? Maybe it is, but
Because it doesn't satisfy everyone, really. is
Yeah.
what
Right.
Compromise is. That's the problem with compromise, even though you are meeting in the middle. So,
yeah. And
But yeah,
for me,
go ahead.
like,
Sorry.
for me, just trying to sort of set up a discussion for that is a bit of a difficulty for me. Not only because I have my own personal life where I have to work like more than 10 hours a day and all that, but also because like you need to get the right people who sort of has the same objective of trying to make things better instead of thinking like I'm trying to just cancel this person's opinion.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Since we're on the topic of competitions, like what do you see as the like the point of tournaments and competitions in general? Like that's what I wanted to ask for a while.
Ooh,
Right.
I actually
Yeah.
asked Tigres this privately. You haven't heard this yet?
No.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, the answer might be different as
Oh,
well.
okay. I'm curious
Yeah.
then. Okay. It's like
I don't know.
after World Tournament 21, did your
Yeah.
opinion change?
Yeah.
Kind of like, is that the reason why it might be different?
Oh wait, so like, what's the point of tournaments? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
what you're asking?
Yeah. According to your perspective, yeah.
A lot of people, I see a lot of people talking about like the objective of the world tournament or the objective of competition.
Mhm.
I mean, in non-pen spinning context, this usually means whoever, it's either whoever's the best or
Mhm.
whoever is survives for the fittest or
Mhm.
something like
Survival
that.
of the fittest, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but in general terms, we can agree that we're trying to determine the best spinner in the world.
Hmm.
Now, the problem here is, what the fuck is? Oh, sorry, profanity.
That's fine.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. No, I swear on this podcast, fucking go.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is the best spinner in the world, right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because one opinion I hear is, okay, so is the best spinner of the past tournaments still the best spinner? And the usual answer is no, right? Because the level, the difficulty, the level of pen spinning is a lot different from the past and what is now. Before it was all about like Korean spinning or all about power, continuous power, and all that. But now it's all about like density or execution or presentation or anything like that. So with that in mind, like the real question here is, I think, is should the definition of the best spinner change through time, or should it be something that should be consistent in terms of the idea of it? And that's something I'm kind of struggling to answer, but I feel like by understanding pen spinning itself and implementing that understanding of pen spinning in competition, such as criteria or so, it's sort of it leads that answer and sort of influences the community as a whole. So to answer your question on what's the point of it, it's the point of competition. I think the point of competition, in a way, is to find out what is the best spinner in the world, and it's not really simply like the most difficult combo or anything
Or
like
most
that.
difficult breakdown, or
Yeah, it's not anything like not tangible or like nothing visual, but rather something that transcends more than that. It kind of touches the philosophy part
yeah.
as well, because before that I thought it's all about the most difficult breakdown.
Hmm.
But like, what's a difficult breakdown without being able to present that well, right?
Hmm.
So like that's my idea. And even if you like do the best execution videos, like what's the point of that if you're only repeating the same breakdown in like 2007 or anything? So there's got to be like not a combination, but like actually, yeah, a combination of all of these like aspects of what is good into
Or
one video,
synergy of all of them.
or synergy of all things.
I want you to talk about this theory that you have.
I do. I mean, it's not
I
really
don't know
laid
if you
out
want to
correctly
talk about
yet,
it that
but
much just because you're working on it still, but it's because this is so related, I feel like it's important. I'm really interested to see what you have to say when that comes out. Because the synergy theory that Tigres was been working on and have talked privately about,
Uh-huh.
it just has like it's basically what he's saying. It's like including every aspect and how elements work together rather than being viewed separately, right? And I
yeah,
find it really a really good way to look at pen spinning. So
yeah, and it's essentially kind of bringing a bit of aesthetic, artistic perspective
Mm-hmm.
into the pen spinning scene, which to some people might be a bit of like, you know, weird because it was all about like breakdowns and all that. But like, could looking at like past trends and all that, the more tournaments we do, like in 2019 or to 2021, you see like more of a disconnection between like the famed spinners and people who are competing in the world tournament. Like, to explain this, like I think the most famous example is how like there's so many really good active spinners before, like Superway
mhm.
127, like Vic Got Game, even
Mm-hmm.
in Taiwan, like Herons, Dove, and all that. All these really good spinners who
Rex,
have the
Laura,
skill, Rex, Laura, even in JV, like Noel and all that.
hmm
Like, these people are the people that should be joining in terms of the previous definition of like what's the good spinner, because they have like the best breakdown, the best ideas, they're original first of
hmm
all, but like but you see these people like sort of disconnected with the tournament these days, and I was always wondering about that since maybe like 2000, like 15 or 17, when there's always like these how should I say mental draining by like joining competitions. And if I the more I think about it, I think it's more about joining world tournament these days, like because they don't really take into consideration of like the video itself. It's only like the breakdown or just the execution.
Mm-hmm.
These really good spinners are not really motivated to join in a tournament because they don't think they're valued correctly.
hmm
And I think that's something um, that should be worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, we need all-inclusive discussion throughout the whole community on what their understanding of pen spinning is. Because surprisingly, it's quite different
yeah,
for each community.
hmm
Like the most like easiest one we can pick on is like JEB, where like more of the artistic view is like focused rather than the difficulty of it, but actually like difficulty is also included in that artistic view, but presented in a different way. So like, yes, and also JB, as Dove says here, like in JB there is no grading system, like there's no numbers. It's more about like who is better than the other. Whereas in the Western community, it's all about numbers. Like 10 execution, there's 7 difficulty, and that's
Oh,
definitely
that's
like a
cultural
lot.
differences.
Yeah,
As well,
but like
yeah. Hmm.
so like since I'm not gonna say it's like dominated by Western culture or anything like that, but like it's definitely one-sided.
Hmm.
Right.
And it's definitely like some it definitely needs more other perspectives to bring into the tournament in general in order to move on with like a better quality tournament, because my objective here as an organizer is make the tournament as entertaining for as many as viewers as possible. And I think to do that is to provide something that not everybody could enjoy 100%, but like it could be equally distributed throughout like many communities.
Hmm.
Right.
So that was a long answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
sorry
I'm
about that.
surprised your answer wasn't like innovation and all that stuff, because that's what you gave me last time.
I thought it was innovation as well, but innovation nonetheless is important. But as I said before, like what is that without presentation? Like you
Right.
got a really good business idea and you have
Mhm.
to convince these investors to like to invest in you, but like if you can't present that well, then it's not gonna really connect. You can't really connect with the people.
Mhm.
And I think pen spinning is the same. Like no matter how like high of an execution you do in the pen spinning tournament video, like that's not really gonna attract the people who focus on like concepts or innovation, right? And if it's just innovation and all that, like people who are more focused on execution, which is a significant portion of the community, won't also not recognize it as well.
But
So
because what you're saying of trying to incorporate all these elements and like find out like the perfect middle ground and also finding some sort of compromise, I think even without that you're thinking about maybe to be without even discussing that, I feel like the world tournament has already kind of found try or attempted to find that middle ground in some way, because the spinners that it produces to be the winner or tend to be the most like balanced in every single like criteria, right? It's not so
it
much
tends to
about,
be, yeah.
yeah, it's not so much about like a specific category, because you can't just win by having what you said, like only difficulty or only execution or something like that, because all the other criteria matters, right?
Mm,
And I think when the PSO was happening, and PSO is like a lot more experimental, right, with the themes
right.
and like testing out different ideas with the tournament. We had like a aesthetic category, right? And I think we learned a lot about where that category fits and how these categories actually work in a competition settings, and if they do work, right?
Yeah, I
True. I
do have a
mean,
say on this as well. Like,
Because like I feel like if you create a criteria that is like an amalgamation of everything, it becomes a different thing almost. Like it's not even like because for those communities who value execution, or for those communities who value difficulty, it's not, the world tournament criteria is no longer just about that, right? For what they value, it's an amalgamation of everything, which means you have to essentially be good at everything. And the
mhm.
people who are only good at particular one thing, and that one thing which is valued in their community, will obviously be like not appreciated as much in the world tournament. So it's a really interesting problem to have, because it's like with PSO we learned about categories, and with World Tournament we are trying to find the ultimate like best pen spinner. So it's hard to say what's the best way to structure that, right?
If there should be any weight structure in general,
Hmm.
like that's also something in question as well. I mean, Akai, you had a saying as well.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I was gonna say that to me, competitions are like a challenge to pen spinners, and having kind of like you were saying earlier, like a more systematic or numbers and kind of the ground for judges to put a numbers or what is it like attach a value to what a spinner is doing is also very important instead of like abandoning it entirely, right? So when you spin like maybe like one person says your spinning is good but it doesn't look good in other person's eyes, and it's very good to have like a group of people who can like put their feedback out there and say something about the competitor's spinning, right? So I feel like there's still a need for systematic approach where we could put numbers but along with the feedback like what we're doing, but you guys were talking about like how we can improve it, and that's by taking community feedback and kind of put it together and not like canceling people's opinions out, right?
Yeah, essentially in the topic I was kind of touching on was essentially like whether or not categories is like the right idea, or the like altogether amalgamation is the right idea, or like maybe there isn't a correct thing to do, it turns out, so it's hard to say, because I think a really good piece of evidence that shows this, like that World Tournament is obviously not the criteria that makes the best pen spinner, is that whenever someone films a combo and submits it to World Tournament, it's usually vastly different from what they usually spin like.
The mentality,
and
right?
because they're making it for World Tournament, right?
Yeah.
So World Tournament has a certain like level of prestige, obviously, but also has like a certain like idea or concept of okay, this is the type of spinning that I have to put out for
expectations, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's an expectation towards it, and maybe that's cultural and maybe that's hard to change, but also I think it's a product of the criteria in a way as well, because you can't just go far into one direction, like one part of the criteria super hard and just expect to win. So yeah,
and I feel like people
usually
people usually burn out after a competition run,
right.
and I mean personally I don't think that's healthy, in the sense that I want people to keep on spinning no matter what, like even if it's like personal life issues or other like matters in life, but having to go through a run and you're kind of like getting tired of pen spinning is not what I really want to see. Instead, like
same.
You know what I mean, yeah. So we want like people to stay, and sometimes like competitions do that to spinners, and it's very very sad to see that in the past years or so. Yeah.
That's why initially for me, I thought tournaments shouldn't be really
Mike.
done every 2 years. Oh shit, sorry.
There you go.
I've always been saying this in like the past organizing committees where like tournaments there shouldn't be a competition every year, is what I believed. Like there shouldn't be a world tournament every 2 years. Maybe it should be like every 3 years or 4 years, because in that way I feel like, I mean, either way, competition does drain a lot of motivation and energy from the spinners. But at the very least, like, I think having that time, like long time interval, it can minimize that. Definitely not enough, but but it's also like this. We've been talking about criteria, but it also relates to the usual structure of the world tournament. There's usually like 6 rounds and maybe like a qualification round if there's too many people. So that's a lot of videos you have to put in. So like there's also something that we might need to consider changing that as well. And I think there are some people who also think of changing the structure of that, which is also something that we can work on for the next years and all that. So yeah.
And also the fact that we have competitions, and like people who just started out, or when they first started, they're usually very young. And when they join a competition and they lose, they get tilted very easily. Because
Oh, is that how the
yeah,
trend goes?
no, like that's what I see. But like,
uh,
they want to join, but in joining, they want to win, or
Yeah.
they want to go further into the rounds and everything.
We're,
But after maybe a
yeah.
couple rounds, they get tilted, and they're like, maybe I don't want to do this anymore
It's
because I
because
can't
competition
things.
like kind of breeds the stress, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that's just part of it. And I said this to you before, Kai, but I find that joining a competition is very much like putting your pen spitting out there for everyone to judge it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like very much, and the reason why I think it's very exhausting or even we're just like very tilting to the new spinners is that it's very much like putting your ego on the line, right? Because you're just like, this is me, this is my pen swing. And when people like see it and they judge it, and
Mm-hmm.
then if you're young, like pen spinning is kind of like what
Mm-hmm.
you have. It's like all you have other than school, like, and it means a lot to people. So when people like think it's bad or like whatever, it becomes like a stress and like a distressing part of competition. And I think that's what makes it
Yeah.
difficult to deal with for some people. Obviously, for people who are more experienced, like Isaac, who doesn't care anymore, and it's like no problem for him. But like when as like an entry level thing, like it's obviously not easy, right?
it also doesn't help when there's a general opinion that this person could have passed that round, but they didn't because like there's
Hmm.
been a weird like evaluation in the judging
Hmm.
part. Like I've seen that many times in the past tournaments and all that. So yeah, including that, like I agree that the spinner's ego is definitely on the line when they're competing
Which
or
sounds
competition.
stupid, and it's weird to say that, but like it's kind of like if you put so much effort and like care in like what you create, and it's
Mm-hmm.
basically you're just putting it out there for people to rip it apart. That's really what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like
But
that's how I imagine it. It's like if you play like video games or anything, like or when you like shit on the people who make it and like, oh, why do you do this stupid like mechanic is dumb or something. Like it's
Yeah.
the same thing, really. How do you think the
Yeah.
developers feel about
and
that?
and they get into that rabbit's hole before knowing how to enjoy the hobby. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like when they're like
yeah.
2 or 3 years and they're starting to like it a lot, to be more passionate about it, and they get tilted by the fact that they lost a competition or something. That's like very, what is it, like a cycle, right? So yeah, I think it's a bit early for a spinner to have a
Hmm.
platform and join, and like you said, hobby, put your ego out there.
As stupid as it sounds,
Yeah,
like
and
that's
if
I always like to point out stuff like that because I feel like some of the things we talk about, we get really deep into these things, and I like to have like some self awareness of like how ridiculous certain things sounds. Like we're talking about pen spinning here, guys. Like,
yeah,
but
there's a
I
head
kind of
spinning
wanted
world tournament, if
wanted
that
to
makes it
talk
even.
to you about more about we touched on like making content, we touched on like workshop a little bit. How do
mhm.
you feel about um structuring like the way you organize things? How do you feel about that in the future, and how do you like are you going to continue to organize World Tournament in the future? And are you going to step down, or are you going to find someone, or like what's the situation in terms of that?
I mean, I think it's either today or tomorrow for for the finals to come out
The
for the
results?
videos. Yeah, no, the
Oh,
videos.
the videos,
Yeah,
right.
so obviously it's near the end of the tournament itself. Honestly, for me, I wish I could find another person who can do all the the organizing for me and all that. But I think so. When I first started organizing here, I think a lot of the problems tend to be sort of the management for the tournaments um, for the past tournaments. And what I mean by that is, well, since we're not really too obligated to like to be very time strict and all that, since it's a hobby
Hmm.
after all, like it doesn't really tend to the quality of the tournaments doesn't really tend to go up in terms of organization.
Hmm.
Um, and for this tournament, I wanted to improve some of that by instead of having just one person doing all the organizing, which has been the case for uh, when Zombo was organizing tournaments back in UPSB,
Hmm.
along that with ZCon, and then after ZCon, it was Coffee Lucky.
And we talked about like how stressful it is for competitors, right? It's also very stressful for organizers.
It is,
And that's
and
not to
like
be understated because the fact is competitors actually are known, like people know the competitors way more than the organizers. And because the organizer is almost like a corporation or like a freaking institution or something, people don't look at organizers with much like sympathy at all, I think.
I mean, I think it's also because we usually never really open up what we actually do,
Right.
which is I guess people perceive it as a problem. They're saying like there's not enough transparency, but like I mean, what's the point of having transparency if you don't really care about it in the first place? But
Oh fuck.
for
Sorry. Sorry. Oh, okay.
what happened?
No, it kind of hit me. Yeah. Okay. Go on. Go
Man,
on. Sorry.
don't hit the screen, man.
But yeah.
Yeah, where was I? Shit, where was I?
Transparency. Transparency.
Yeah. Right. But
Yeah.
like, I think, um, so what I wanted to say was the management before I think is quite inefficient because you're basically leaving a lot of things to this one person or maybe a few
Hmm.
people. So the attempt that I wanted to do was first delegate people to
Right.
what role they're going to do. So like for example, like this person is going to be the Twitter person. This person will manage the website, and these people will manage the competitors, and these people will do whatever, all stuff like that. But what I realized was, well, first, a lot of the people who were who were in the past like interested in the organizing part of it, they're all really busy in real life a lot of
Yeah.
the times,
Yeah.
Hmm.
like including myself. Like um, I think most of the times I have a lot of managers like contacting me a lot for submissions um, for the videos, which I deeply apologize for not being able to do it on time, but I'm just trying my best to do that.
Hmm.
So my attempt was doing that, but like since the people who are involved in the organizing in the first place are really busy people, then it's kind of it was really difficult to try to delegate the people and have them motivated to stick with doing that role because
Interesting.
of their schedules and all that.
Hmm.
And for this year, I think there's World Tournament A and B, which is like the
Hmm.
main, and then there's like the beginners one. Which, first of all, for the beginners tournament thing, like there's no like rules set in who can join, who can participate, technically. So like, I really don't think there should be a B side personally, but like because that just makes organizing a lot more harder. But
I mean, what you're saying about like having different staff members essentially with the role and people
mm,
having like life and stuff to deal with.
mm,
I think it's interesting to think about that just because just as being a competitor is a time investment in world tournaments, so is being an organizer. because you
Yeah.
have to be there the entire
Yeah,
like
it's
length of
it's a
the.
it's a it's a different kind of time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say something about
Investing.
that too.
Yeah,
Because Akai, if you guys don't know, Akai's actually the judge for the World Tournament B side as well. So it's not like, he's not a
Yeah.
stranger to
Yeah,
World
and
Tournament in
Tigres,
that
yeah.
sense.
Because I've been thinking about like keeping up with spinning is a thing, and doing more for the spinning community or the PS community in general is another step above the act of spinning. Like if is a wonder if you can keep on spinning. Not to say that you gotta be more involved with like organizing and everything. That's like doing more than you're required to, right?
Yeah.
And it's already rare to see people who can keep on spinning. And for Tigres or other like you as what is it, like the admin of the workshop or the creator of the workshop, I feel like doing that takes a lot more like effort for a hobby or pen spinning, right? And I think I really admire
Well,
you
it's an
guys.
extra job,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
right?
I really
Because
admire you guys for that.
for someone, I mean, we admire you too. Like, I mean, you make like videos a lot,
a
so
lot
it's
more
not.
consistent than I do.
Yeah, so it's not like we're all like people who don't do anything for the
Yeah,
community.
yeah. But I do have like the what is it, like the motivation, like the right to like do what I want. And what is it, like I don't really often see like the reason not to. But you guys seems like you guys face more problems within like organizing
Yeah, I guess so.
what is it,
I
like
th-
moderating, right?
it's simply because I mean, spinning is kind of like off the table at that point when you're like doing organizing and all
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
To be
Yeah.
honest, yeah, like it involves with dealing with many types of people in
Right.
general,
Hmm.
because not only when you organize, you have to organize the organization team who are in charge of basically maintaining the whole cycle of like the tournaments, and then you have to sort of manage the um, participants,
Hmm.
and then you also need to manage the judges,
Hmm.
and then at the same time you need to like maybe have some direct contact with like the sponsors who are involved
Hmm.
with the tournament, in which this case I wasn't really keen to interact much with the sponsors. I'm really deeply sorry for that, but like that's also something I really want to work on if I were to sort of improve the process. So going back to the topic, what I really want to do is starting from the assignment of team members, make a more effective and efficient cycle where managing all these different parties at the same time could be possible. And it's really easy to say on paper, but the actuality here is finding the people who are definitely like fit for the role is the
Hmm.
most difficult part. And I think that's something that hobby also experiences when moderating as
Right.
well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Hmm.
because like, and that's why like I know I think this is a good time to talk about the fact that like I think a lot of people want to help World Tournament, right? Or they want to like contribute and like lend their like
In
kind of
some
effort.
form, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is like if you're new to doing that, it's almost harder to do it because it's good to have like prior experience in the sense that you've made like CVs and made like big projects before that involve other people, or you've talked to different people about pen spinning in very different ways that it's like is very obvious that you're experienced about pen spinning and understand things, because you can't it's almost harder to get a new person into your kind of organizing staff just because you almost have to teach them more in along the way, so it's like they become like I don't want I don't want to like say hindrance, but it's just like it's just
I mean,
way
you
more
put more
effort.
time in
Yeah.
investing in the people you hire as well, just like
Exactly.
any company. And I think another important thing is whether you trust them enough to have
Exactly.
them
Yeah.
let them have the autonomy to
Hmm.
do certain responsible tasks, which is something I did sort of struggle, but I did luckily have a few people who I could trust
Hmm.
in the organizing part of it, which I think made the I should I say the real stress a lot less
Right.
than other previous organizers have experienced in the past.
Yeah.
Have I talked about the decision making stuff at all? I don't think I talked about that.
Yeah, nah,
Hmm.
probably.
I feel like it'll relate to what Tigres does too, right? In the sense that you're kind of managing stuff like that. I don't know what kind of decisions you make, but just for the workshop, it's probably a little different. I mean, when I hear you talk about like how you manage World Tournament, it's like I don't know if I know how to organize anything. It's like you sound like you know what you're talking about. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
and I need to add something, Hobby,
go ahead.
because I was talking about like how people, I mean, spinners getting tilted, and I feel like organizers do get tilted as well.
Yeah, they do.
After a competition, like they're like, ah, do I want to do this anymore? Like do I want to be?
Why do you think I stepped down from being a moderator?
So that's what I'm feeling from Tigres. Is like he's considering like that. That's what I feel.
It's
But
the whole passing the torch thing is like
yeah,
hard to do, right? Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do.
In the end, someone's got to do it.
Yeah,
So
and if it doesn't happen, someone else usually steps up, right? Because
usually, yeah.
like look at what happened with UPSB. UPSB disappeared, right? And then there was a Discord server, like there was a subreddit Discord server that Leto runs, and also Mango's Discord server at the time that was very popular, and that's what was going on. But the reason why I created the workshop was because I wanted a place not so much just for socializing and kind of hanging out and stuff like that, but for like more serious learning and more serious discussions. And so I made the server, and it kind of like grew to a point where I didn't realize it was just going to become a new UPSB. But like, it's not like someone asked me or like Zcon asked me, "Hey, can you keep UPSB alive by making the workshop?" Like, it just I feel like people, if something disappears, people will step up usually because someone's gonna do it. But it's definitely hard to, I feel like, almost create like a company or like a structure where, or a team where people will be able to replace each other when the other
yeah.
person retires, you know? Like I feel like that's one of the more difficult things in managing a community is like having the people to replace each other as other people start to retire or whatever, because that's, I think, the indication of a healthy community
Right.
is that the people who join will eventually become the people that replace the others that retire or quit pen spinning and all that.
In that
Otherwise, the
case,
whole
then
like cycle of the people joining community will slowly disappear, and there's going to be less and less people, and it just won't be able to sustain itself. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. So in that case, then I think it may not be healthy to sort of have people to think, oh, there's gonna be someone who's gonna do it if the previous one like steps down because he doesn't have enough motivation to do so. So like changing that sort of, I don't know, the
Mindset of it, I guess.
mindset taboo, I guess.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I'm not sure if this is called like
Or like an
freeloader
expectation that everyone
yeah,
has to be like, oh, someone's gonna organize a world tournament,
yeah,
someone's
something
gonna
like that.
organize this, someone's gonna organize UPSB 4.
That's also very problematic as to like
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, man.
as to like how do like newer people get motivated to do such things? And
I realized that we were supposed to be talking about decision making. I never, so we went on a
yeah.
different tangent.
No. We're gonna go back to that real quick.
Okay, we're gonna go back. Bring us back, Akai. Bring us back.
Yeah. So what were you what were saying about decision making?
I don't know.
We
making
don't
decision-
need to.
We
Yeah.
don't need to, but I don't know how I'm supposed to talk about it because it's
Yeah, you can
I don't know
brainstorm.
what like I feel like I need to be prompted.
Oh
Like I
man.
need a specific thing.
Padres, thank you for organizing.
Yes, thank you so much for
EPS
organizing
before.
that.
Yeah.
There's been so many attempts.
Yes, and you're the only person that succeeded.
Yeah. Now on with UPSB 5th.
Wow. So someone
Or will
someone's
there be,
got to
like, a
do it.
workshops like second
Yeah,
or some shit.
someone's got to do it.
Yeah, someone's gonna do it. You know, someone's
Yeah,
gonna do it.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
That's the attitude, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Hubik is saying, like the crowd effect kind of thing. I forget what the is that the name.
I thought it was like freeloader.
Freeloader.
Yeah, I mean that was my a limited vocabulary that I could think of from my brain right now.
But yeah, I don't know what decision making things. What do you want me to say about decision making?
Like as a community leader or something. Like so decision making, we're like in a position where we need to decide
Yes,
things. Obviously,
that will
but
change
like
things drastically, or like you need to
Yeah.
figure out something that you know is sensitive and can go either way or something.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also a team effort, right? It's not about
Mhm.
individuals who want to do things, but when we want to do something for many people, we need to get many people into our group and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes it
Padres, can
harder.
you real quick, while you're in chat, can you read the DM I sent you?
oh god,
I'm sorry.
he's behind your back.
Oh man.
No. But I'm just saying, like, it's not a huge deal, but just let me know when you can.
But yeah.
See, look, I'm communicating with my staff members right now. I'm doing organizing right now.
Yeah.
God
You guys
damn
are
it.
so motivated.
But just like
envious.
how Evan showed up Baron showed up
Uh-huh.
in like the stage channel thing, and I was just like, oh, I'll send you the spin bros. Yeah, I've been like DMing him for the past like year, and he still hasn't like responded to me until that one time he got onto voice.
He's really busy
He really
IRL,
is. He
isn't
really is. And like you said, like you told me not to worry about it because like usually when people don't respond, it's because they have like things to take care of, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to have the low expectation in terms of response because, like, I mean, dude, not everybody's on the internet 24/7. I mean, they are, but it's most likely going to be work.
that's all I do. I slide into people's DM. That's all I do because I don't talk to people that like in public that often. in the
I
community.
might get depressed if you guys keep talking about expectations.
Why?
Cause life, man.
I don't know what about decision making I should talk about. I don't know if anyone even cares. I feel like I'm obligated to talk about it just because it's in the topics and I advertised it.
Is it-
Wait,
is
so
it-
so
it's-
what are your like future plans for the server? Because that's what I mean, trying to get out of you.
Well, one of the things that actually some of you guys might have noticed, Tigres is what's it called? Like wool was red or something. Is it still red or did I take it off? I don't remember.
What?
Your role is like a community helper and.
Oh yeah, it's still red. Yeah.
Okay.
Been
Well, the
red.
reason why it's like that is because I wanted Tigres to help out in creating like a team of people to create like a system where there are experienced pen spinners or just or even just experienced modders who are willing to help new people in the server so they can tag those like experienced people specifically if they're interested. And just to make it like a more democratic thing, they'll obviously be posting it in the channel, so other people will be able to respond to it too if they disagree. So I think it'll be like a very like open kind of way to like help newer people, especially. And that's what I was planning on, and I
Right,
hope
right.
it'll be a good thing. It's I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's that was something I was thinking about for a long time. Like the thing is, like if you organize anything. Like I'm sure Tigres or even Akai can think of this. you get like people like us, we have so many ideas. We have so many ideas, just like lists of ideas, and there's like the problem like with all these ideas is which one is the most practical, like, and which like you have to like almost fill out this criteria of how it's gonna even work. Like
Like
I
a
know people
checklist,
were
right? Yeah.
like asking like, oh, can you add the music bot back, or even when the battles in TACON channel, what used to be a thing like a long ass time ago in the workshop, you guys probably don't even know about it, is and that got archived is because Ava, which was a moderator in the workshop at the time, man, I miss Ava. He was in charge of organizing that channel, and he just got busy and life happened, so we weren't able to do it. But you might wonder like, oh, you just make a channel, like a battles channel, just let people do battles, right? It's simple, right? But like you get into this situation where like what if these are all new pen spinners that are joining the workshop? What if they want to do battles or TACON? Do they know the rules? You're gonna piss off the people who actually do know the rules. So we have to make our own rules that are good for TACON and think about what works and what doesn't, and then how we're gonna manage it, or it's gonna be flooded with like people just spamming like videos. How do we connect all these like battle videos together so people can actually vote on them? And it just becomes like a very complicated thing to deal with, right? So like, how do you actually organize that? How are you gonna actually do that? From making an idea that sounds good on paper, how are you gonna actually implement it in reality?
Right.
And that's
right.
really like how you make certain decisions like that. With moderating decisions, it's a little bit different. It's also really complicated because of like the context and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? And maybe I should talk about moderating stuff. I feel like I should like say one thing about the moderating things, and I think do you guys know what I'm going to talk about? I think you guys know.
Kind
I
of.
feel like I should say this just because it's become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone knows about Mummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to Mummy, right? And people are like, oh, like some people in the Discord server are just banned without like anyone knowing, or like nothing happens, or no one really knows. And it's just all these things are so complicated, man, and I don't understand why it has to be. But the reason why I bring up Mummy is because I actually recently learned that there was a Discord server in like Planet Discord server or something. The story behind Mummy was that he was never really wrongfully banned, and I'm glad, honestly, that he's actually still pen spinning and stuff, because that's what I really want to see. The problem with him was not so much like, oh, like he's good at pen spinning or something, or like he knows about pen spinning, so I'm gonna ban him so he can't say anything about pen spinning. I actually prefer when he talks about pen spinning, and I think he obviously has some ideas about it because of all his experience with reading RPD's book about notation and his personal ideas with things like that. But the problem is not so much his like pen spinning skill or talent or interest, but what he says or what he does and how that affects everyone else on the server. And he made an alt account in the past, and I asked him personally about it, and he said he would smarten up a bit, and we talked about it, and it was cool for a while. But then he started just not acting out a little bit, and that it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna ban him because I hate this person. It was because I saw something that he said that was kind of questionable, and I brought it to the other moderators, and it said, hey, do you guys think like, do you think this is ban worthy? I feel like he's on thin ice already, but do you guys feel like, is this deserving of a ban at this point? And they agreed that it was deserving of a ban. So it wasn't just like out of hatred or anything. Like moderating isn't always like that. Sometimes it is out of like impulse and stuff, but we're human beings. Like if someone's being like an asshole, yeah, so obviously we're gonna get upset. Obviously we're gonna possibly ban them for being an asshole. Is that wrong? Like if they're being an asshole about it. And also, here's the other thing. If someone's like upsetting you, and all the moderators I have are like have a pretty like straight, they have things pretty straight, right? So like if someone's being an asshole and it's like, oh, they got like they got banned like just because you were mad at them. Well, if they made the moderators mad, do they deserve to be on the server? Like, because they have the potential to make other people upset, you know? Like in that sense, like how like how do you like deal with that situation, you know? Even if they are nicer to other people or whatever. Like it's such a hard thing to deal with because it's such a case by case basis thing as a moderator. I really learned that being moderating on UPSP and moderating on the workshop are very different things. Because in the forum you have time. You have time to like think, you have time to deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
In the chat of workshop, it's very real time, and you have to like figure out, okay, do I do damage control here or something, or like and say stuff like, could you please stop, or should I just give them a warning, or should I ban them, like, and it's all like very
demands like immediate action.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So it's very stressful in that sense, and that's partially why I stepped down. And like dealing with all these situations and certain people, like it's not personal. If anyone who is banned that's listening to this, like it's never personal, really.
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to do the best for the server. Sometimes we're annoyed, yes, for sure. Sometimes it is an emotional thing. But if you're like disrespecting the people who are in charge, what do you expect? Like, are you gonna like run a red light and then have like be pulled over and be an asshole to the cop and just be mad that they gave you a ticket? Like, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, like I don't know. It's such a tricky thing to deal with in that sense.
Again, it goes back to what we initially talked about. It's like, it's just first, like, be tolerant of other people's opinions, and you know, have a discussion instead of a one-sided like just
shouting
like bantering and all
yeah.
that.
But yeah,
have a human conversation.
Exactly. Right.
And this is
Be
exactly
willing to
why I said what you guys are doing are like beyond spinning itself, and
because we're dealing with people and like
yeah,
managing stuff.
and you guys
Man,
are taking
spinning
care.
is easy, man.
Spinning is easy in that sense. You can just like spin in a hole and no one even knows you, but you can just like do whatever you want. Like just say what you want, do what you want. It's the people who manage it, like I don't know. It can be stressful at times. It can be the only thing though, like I will say about organizing things, like I'm complaining right now and saying, oh, it sucks to organize or whatever. It is like one of the most rewarding things to finish a project or see something to completion or see it work well. Like that's one of the most satisfying things if you ever organize anything.
Oh, so you guys do get awarded, okay? Okay.
That is the award. Like I don't
It's
know.
more like a personal reward, if that makes sense. Because I think in the end, like we like this hobby, and our wish is to have this hobby to be enjoyed as many people as possible.
Right.
And in order to do that, like in the past we were young people and there were other people, older people than us, who were doing the organizing part. And so since now we are the older generation, we feel not obligated, but responsible.
Like you feel, responsibility.
Responsible to give it back to the community.
Yeah.
And if that gets rejected by like no reason other than memes, then that's something really upsetting.
Yeah.
That's all. But then again, it might be our problem as well for being very sensitive and all that. But like, it's just how I think that's how internet has changed a lot throughout the times.
For sure.
But its livelihood is also on the internet, right? The fact that we can communicate with other
for better
spinners,
or for worse. Well, nowadays on social media, which I find like, it's good and bad at the same time. Because
it's also
there's pros and cons to everything, man.
Right, right.
Really, so it's not really like it's always bad or it's always good. Like it's just different. Like the forum days are different, and so are the days that
the Discord days.
Discord days that we currently reside in.
Yeah, I don't know what's coming next, but we'll stay here long enough to see the changes, and almost like revolutions in that sense. But
The different eras.
yeah. And like Tigres mentioned before we started the podcast, about like how younger spinners are so good that you can't even
Oh yeah.
imagine. Yeah, and that's what I like to see as well.
In the end of the day, the goal of like us talking right now, and the goal of us like sharing you guys like our experiences and our ideas is not really necessarily to like tell you that this is how it is, and this is how like you should believe in like pen spinning, or this is the perspective that you need to follow. It's like what we said earlier about how communicating with other people should be like a very open and like willing to listen kind of like interaction.
Yeah.
You should be willing to listen to us, but you shouldn't like just believe in everything we say. I understand if like you don't have experience with some of the things we say, so it's easy to be like, oh, what they say must be true because it's credible or whatever. I'm just saying, just have like a little bit of like, I hear, instead of saying like, oh, this person says this, right, and they're fairly credible, that's possible that it's true what they say, but I heard it from them from when I like watch YouTube videos or whatever, and it's really easy to get into like these like get into like this like wave of like emotion with certain like opinions, I feel. And so it's good to just just to think in the sense that, oh, I heard that and this person said this, rather than this is how it works, like as you're parroting like what someone else said. Is just something to think about, I guess. Is this just the idea of like the podcast and what we do is just to make you guys think about other people's perspectives and experiences, but not necessarily make you agree with all of them.
Yeah.
As long as it's open discussion, like we're more than welcome to like
For sure,
discuss about it. Yeah.
And it feels like we're growing as human beings, right?
Yeah.
So we grow together, and even for like newer people, like they're getting into pen spinning, they get to see like the social aspect of it and learn how to deal with people at first, and then later on they'll get more experience and they can take care of things easier, like relatively easier than what we do. I hope, with new methods and I don't know, like communication skills, like you said earlier. Yeah. But it's a hard thing that we're considering now about like what's going on and what could come in the future as well. Yeah. But we're still in Discord days.
Well, we're kind of on the tail end of the podcast. I kind of want to ask you guys, what are you guys gonna do as we move on into the future here? What are you gonna do with your content, Akai? Are you gonna make more English stuff? Like, I want to see you make more English stuff.
Maybe later on. I need to finish my thing first.
Right.
And if COVID is going away in a positive note, then
You're gonna come over, right?
I'm gonna go places, right? Like
You're
I
gonna
want
meet
to
me over here, and then we can do like a special
Canada
AHT
Land
episode, like together, I guess.
Yeah.
In like this room.
And I think for me, like Pat Ray's also mentioned it in the chat, right? Like real life gatherings are so much more like motivating and more encouraging.
Yeah, for some people,
for fun,
that's what
yeah.
you need to be motivated for pen spinning, and sometimes that's what I need to. Honestly, I don't think I could spin without being able to talk to you guys. Honestly, like it's really hard.
And I really wanna, with the help of other people, I wanna make a workshop, like the thing that
the
Slofis
Vietnam
and
workshop.
Shaddix kind of did in Alcor, right? Yeah.
I mean, when you go back to Vietnam, you wanted to do like this pen spinning workshop with the VNPS people, right?
Yes. And I kind of selected my staff already, so I'm still waiting for
That's cool. That's exciting.
COVID. Yeah, and I want to make it
And-
fun and enjoyable for everyone.
As for me, I don't know. We'll see how workshop goes. I'm working with Padres and Pong. We're like gonna see how things go. Gonna talk to. I think so. Oh, Padre says he might be able to come to that game. Like,
Oh, that's
Let us
exciting.
know. Let us know.
What about
Let us know.
Tigres?
Dude, let's go fucking. Dude, let's just go to like a brewery
Need
or
to go.
something and just hang out.
Yeah. Okay. Before that, I really need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay.
But yeah, let's just continue. We'll talk about future. Let's talk about after AHT then. Okay.
AHT. I
So
don't know,
you
man.
guys-
Life changes all the time. right?
Because you guys might know that AHT is ending, right? This is the finale episode, and that's why Tigres is here.
Mhm.
But what do you think about the future in terms of AHT and the channel? Do you actually want to make it into a different channel and just like make different videos, or what are you thinking? I know you're going to be busy, but
Yeah. I feel like after maybe like 4 years of doing content on my channel,
Mhm.
it's really hard to understand exactly what people need in terms of content, and that's why I'm still hesitating on making like innovative or newer ideas. And of course, I do have to look at the viewership, right? So
right.
to see like how many people actually care about like the things that I do or the content that I create. So as for AHT, I think I want to do more on our channel, but I'm not sure because we're shifting. Like after a year that we've been doing this, I feel like we need to see like what people need first, right?
I
Like,
guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of wanted to make videos like that are like helpful videos instead, right?
Yeah.
Because we've done so much of this podcast, which is us talking, and it's really good to get all these great like ideas that we have like stuck in our heads that we want to share with people, but it's hard to get super in depth with certain things just
Yeah.
because there's so much to talk about. And
And it's so hard to like get people. Maybe I'm a little bit mean by saying this, but get people to the same level, right? Like in terms of understanding like what PS is to them first, and then they can digest our content or ideas a little bit more effectively, right? Yeah. So that's what I think. I want to wait to see like, oh, okay, this is what people need to kind of fulfill their purpose in pen spinning or whatever. But yeah,
But do you think we should bring back HT for special things?
yeah, for Canada Land,
Yeah, or like maybe RPD.
yeah, for newer stuff for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But
it's
we'll
not.
see, I guess.
It's not
We'll see
gonna
how it
die
goes.
forever. That's what I want to make
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, if my track record shows anything, the podcast disappears and then shows up again multiple times.
Yeah, that's what happens. But yeah, well, but I can say like, this 1 year has been a success for us.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, the
Yeah.
goal for me this year with AHT was really to be consistent, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I've always had like a problem with burnout personally, and like just not wanting anything to do with pen spinning after a while because of
Mm-hmm.
all the projects I've been doing. But I think I've finally been able to find some sort of balance and some sort of consistency with AHT. I'm very glad for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's really just been a nice year, I guess, in that sense, just
Mm-hmm.
because I've been able to do this podcast and it's been a chill time. So,
Yeah, and we get to end on a good note, a very Christmassy note with Tigres as well, right?
yeah.
And I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
What are you going to do in the future, Tigres?
We're going back to that.
Yep. We talked about AHT. No, it's
Yeah.
your turn.
When you're gone
When you're gone.
for a bit. Yeah.
I mean, we talked about a little bit before, right? You were saying like you kind of want to pass the torch, or like you're creating a structure, right, for how to organize things.
I do want to sort of, how should I put? Yeah, as you say, like make a not a permanent structure, but a very flexible
guideline,
structure.
right?
Yeah,
Guidelines for
Experience
how
with
to
it.
organize
right?
things.
Yeah.
yeah, and then I mean, the more proper term is make a more sustainable model so
Mhm.
that people can nurture the people of the later generation while having a leading generation who are more comfortable in organizing or doing something for the community. And I think part of that is the competition that I was had the opportunity to organize it myself. And I think it's something that everyone should try organizing once, and then they can understand what I mean by dealing with a lot of people.
They can understand what I mean too.
Yeah.
And
That's
yeah,
pretty
have
cool.
this
Yeah,
hobby
organize
grow
UPSB
even.
4th and see how you feel.
Oh,
I'm serious.
I feel sorry, man.
That's good for us, right? Learning experience.
Yeah, it's a learning experience. You know,
Yeah.
it's our
But
passion.
I
it's
mean,
what we
like,
do.
the issue with that is you do it once and you don't want to do it again. That's what I feel like for pen
For
Oh, no,
what?
spinning
no,
content.
there's a continuation of that. You do it once, you don't want to do it, but you have
Uh-huh.
to do it anyways.
And then after that,
And,
what was after?
it's repeat.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
a cycle. It's the cycle.
so after you're done, you're like, oh, you want to do it?
I have to do this, guys,
Yeah,
because people expect me to do it.
yeah.
Oh man, yeah. But
It's just on
Someone will do it. Someone will organize this. Someone will organize.
Then, nah, I'll do it.
nah, dude.
It's better that way.
Yeah. And that's also why I don't want people to tell me what to do. That's why I chose this path. You know, like
Yeah.
it's my content.
I feel
don't
like you
tell me.
feel. I honestly feel like Akai just feels like really like left out here because he's just like, oh, I just made content and we're like organizing stuff over here. Like,
No.
I
There's a
mean,
part
I
in
also
me like
organize as well.
organizes what?
He also does like the interviews and all that, right? For the
Oh,
content.
yeah.
That's organizing.
yeah, that's good stuff.
That's
Man.
part of it.
I'll
That's
call
one
that.
person, man. You guys are dealing
Oh,
with
yeah.
like with 10 people. I don't know, 5-10 people. It's like, oh shit. That's
Okay, we're winding down. Sorry, go ahead first.
yeah, but yeah, there's a reason why I didn't step up the surface until later on in 2017. I stayed low key for a bit, for years actually. Yeah.
But we're winding down on this podcast. We have we talked a lot about the topics, and I hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed it. But I think, do you want to just do like a quick Q&A thing with some of the questions that we didn't get to?
Oh yeah,
Sure,
that's
we
true.
can do that. Yeah.
I think we had some questions about World Tournament that we weren't able to get to just because it was kind of like a lot
It was mainly World Tournament, and the question, do pens exist?
depends. That was a joke. Because I made a Twitter post called "Do chairs exist?" and it was
Oh,
a Vsauce
God.
video, and I was like, man, philosophy and pen spinning, man, they really do.
Yeah. Do we exist?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I mean, do pens exist? Maybe exaggeration, but I think the question of what is a pen spinning
yeah. I
mod
think what
it
Patrice is saying.
is a good question. Honestly,
Yeah, it's like
is a baton.
Yeah. Is it umbrella pen?
2021 meta. Is it a mod anymore?
But
Is
yeah,
it a
that's
drumstick? Is drumstick pen spinning? You know, like
Yeah.
of course it is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, with that being said, yeah, that question
use a
is
marker.
always.
Does that mean it's not a pen anymore? It's a
It's
marker.
it's a super tips. It's a Kamsa.
No, I think people consider markers pens.
Yeah. Okay.
Boss is a marker technically.
Writing
What do you think?
instrument.
What other questions you want to answer? Some of the
Yeah,
World
It's mainly from Dove. Do you think grading system is still necessary for a world tournament?
Mike, do you guys Mike?
Sorry.
Oh god. Okay.
Is grading system still necessary? Okay, I mean, this is something just as a personal reference. Like Akai, what did you think evaluating combos in numbers when you were judging for a tournament for the first time?
I think it's acceptable for me, and especially with the help of other churches. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
instead of like
yeah.
having me as the only person who evaluates the
Mm,
combos, it's good to have
mm,
like different people in there to see the same thing that I see. Yeah. So I
mm,
like I said earlier, numbers are pretty much like what is it like the determining values of what you see, right?
mm.
Yeah.
I mean,
What about you?
so I think like people think this grading system is kind of like this objective scale of what this pen spinning video is in a global standard.
Mm,
But like I feel like it's shifting towards to like the judge's personal scale of what this video is,
Right.
what so.
Exactly.
And like I think that's something that people I see a lot of participants having like not like some questions about this. So in terms of whether it's necessary or not, I believe an objective scale
mm-hmm,
may be a good reference for
mm-hmm,
spinners, but like whether it's necessary for a world tournament, it's kind of really hard to tell.
mm-hmm.
But for the sake of reference, other
Right.
than a comment, I think it's like maybe a good like supplementary for the participants. But at the same time,
Then,
it shouldn't be abused to the point where it's like, oh, like numbers are everything. Like I don't want participants to think that way.
so that means like a higher score, but like two participants, you might have a higher score according to the criteria, but you like this combo with a lower score better, and you can still let them pass, right? Is that what it means?
Kind of a way for judges to justify themselves to choose the winner in a
Uh huh.
sense.
Yeah, and
So
that
like in
means.
that sense, I guess it is still necessary.
Mhm.
But like
But
if we were to say like personal opinions and all that, like if there is any replaceable way, I mean replacement for the grading system other than just comments, then like I think that should be implemented. There are definitely like some shortcomings of the grading systems,
Mm.
and it's not really something that's ignored or like dismissed by the community.
Right. Right.
so do you think that I know pretty often I see on Twitter you say that don't like pay attention to like the numbers. Is like what you mean by that? Like, is it more about the difference between the two scores rather than like the number itself? Do you think then?
I think
Like,
that's really for the participants to determine. I can't really say much since I've never really participated
mm,
in tournaments in general.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to be in terms of the common opinion where like these numbers in the end, since it's evaluated by another person, like people think like it may not be like a really good scale for evaluating pen spinning.
mm,
But at the same time, since these numbers are directly linked to the criteria and how the criteria is structured, if there's anything that needs to be changed, it's not really the grading system; it may be the criteria itself.
Mm-hmm. Or even like I just thought of a good idea, I guess. But
Hmm.
the number of people who participate in evaluating combos, say it's like an artwork, and you put 5 people on it, they have differing opinions. But if you put like 10 or 15, like like the audience perspective,
Mm.
that could mean something more than just like asserting numbers to the combo, right?
mm,
I did
If
have a little bit of an idea of that.
mm,
Like,
mm-hmm,
it's kind of like the okay, this might trigger some people. I thought it maybe like similar to like the ideal uh, election of the United States, where there's like popular vote and then there's electoral vote, right? And then weight those in like significant like ratios so that it'll be evaluated that way.
So like you
by,
vote for the representatives of the judges.
yeah, like which one's the winner or kind of like that. But like the more I think about that, the more I'm like, damn, that's a lot of things to do.
Yeah, that's so much work.
That's a lot of people
There's
involved.
a reason why the elections cost so much fucking money. Like,
yeah, you gotta convince me why this person is better than the other.
Yeah.
But I think,
and not to mention,
if we want to avoid, numbers in that sense, then that could be a way to go.
It could be, but again, I mean,
that's
we're still really working. We're still trying to figure that out. I understand that there are people who are frustrated with the grading system in general, but like it is something essential to many communities as well.
And we're used to it, kind of.
Yeah. If people are like, it's numbers are everything. Money's everything.
Money is everything.
What other questions do you want to answer to you guys?
Or maybe so Dove has also, or maybe is it proper for judges to just leave some comments or rank every spin without telling the points like J between? Well, yeah. So I already kind of answered that. Hubik, do you think Isaac is now the best spinner? No offense to Isaac.
Again, what is the best?
I feel like if I answer this, I'll lose either way. So let me just say no comment on that. Let's see the results.
That's a dangerous.
Let's see the results for this final. Who was the most balanced spinner in World Tournament 21?
Balanced.
Balanced. I think this goes back to the what Hobby was saying. How in the end, World Tournament finalists produces these like amalgamation of all criterias. It creates this balanced spinner,
right?
Which is true because like except for not even Peem, I guess.
I mean, like a big exception is Saltian considered a balanced spinner. Like, I don't think so.
Saltian is, I think, more of he's focused more on discovery, discovery of like bringing new ideas that was never really introduced.
Exactly,
in pen spinning,
which has value in it itself, right? But
yeah, it does.
Yep.
It's
it
not
definitely creates
in
something.
terms of balance. It's just I don't know. It's just different, I guess, because everyone has their focus really, and that's what makes it hard to have like a really good criteria, I guess. But
it's new for sure, but like I said this in like my personal stream where I was like, if Saltian maybe like has the spin, like the pen spin faster while he's doing that, maybe he might have a chance.
Oh God. Okay.
If it looks more what people perceive as pen spinning,
I think like partially from talking to Saltian before, like yesterday, I think it's partially because of his camera too, because I think his frame rate on his camera is a little weird.
Yeah, the frame rate was like I think maybe like
well, the shutter speed, right?
The shutter speed was higher than 30 FPS for sure. It was like 45 or something like that, which made it look a lot choppier. Yeah, so I guess that's also something.
But what do you think is the balanced spinner, though? Can we really answer that? Is that also a dangerous question to answer?
No, I'm gonna go first. I want to say Haton's run was very cool to see because I was able to see new ideas.
I like Haton quite a bit in World Tournament as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Haton was cool. I thought it was well, but like going back to what Hobby said, like the finalists who are going to be eventually the amalgamation of like all the
elements,
elements and all that. Isaac really does pursue on that because before we used to think Isaac as this like powerhouse, but like kind of meh execution and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
But like Isaac, he really continues to push on
Limits.
getting new ideas and at least present that in a way that is perceivable,
Right.
and people will say like, "Wow, damn, that's cool." Like in that sense, in World Tournament 21, although there are people who do match that, like I think personally, like Beck for me does sort of match that as well as like a balanced spinner, where he tries to integrate new ideas, but at the same time keep like the levels of like the pen spinning in terms of like difficulty or breakdown and all of that. In that sense, I think Beck is also a balanced spinner, and it sort of does tell that yes, in the end, the people who remain in the tournament are people who are balanced in that sense.
Right.
And
Survival.
Hutton and Saltian are nonetheless like they are also part of that as well.
Yeah. And I think Isaac has also been pushing his limits in a sense, and is a good, like, a great effort that I also appreciate. New ideas and
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, obviously
Yeah.
he's been around for a long time. He knows the whole deal. He doesn't treat competitions in the same way that most people does. You know, like it's very, regardless of how you feel about the things he says or the things he feels about pen spinning, he's obviously has a unique perspective on how to create combos and stuff like that. So,
Which is why I wish he could write more blogs about stuff.
but I
it
know,
seems
but
like
he
is.
did, and then you complained about it in the freaking voice chat workshop.
oh man.
We
That was
really-
with the. We could talk about that later.
We'll talk about it. You invite me onto your stream, and then we'll talk about it.
Sure. Okay, more questions. Getting specific points where improvement can be. Oh, I think this is World Tournament. The general scheme for me is creating a platform where all communities can have an open discussion to determine what the improvements could be. I think in that sense, like, we don't even have a conversation in the first place. So like it's gonna be one-sided either way in terms of organization and like what should be evaluated as like pen spinning and all that. So like having that platform is, I think, a really big step.
Do you think
Despite
it's
the-
like opening up like the pen spinning board of directors to public and stuff like that, or?
I mean, that's part of it. I'm still not really sure how to deal with that because like even the pen spinning board of directors, like there's a lot of people who are motivated but really busy.
Right.
So there might be a necessity to like replace that with more active people in the community.
Or like the ideas of, or something,
Yeah.
or combine the ideas of maybe like a collective with with pen spinning board directors. I don't know if you guys know about that though. I mean the collective is like a thing that I color ran.
I mean, I call
Rain.
the collective is the one who are managing the website for World
Yeah.
Essentially.
So you may know by that.
Um,
Yeah, shout out to iColor. He's
for
a
sure,
really
yeah.
he's a really good man.
Yep. Eye
Yeah.
color. He
Also
lives right
art
next
tech.
to me,
Also
man.
art tech, man. Also art tech.
Artec, yeah.
Yeah. Good work.
He was
good
also
work.
a very contributing member. Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Kai?
Yeah, eye color. Kind of miss him.
Maybe you can.
You know
invite
why
him
he's
to some-
gone? Guys, do you know why he's gone?
Wait, he's gone? What do you mean? Wait, what?
Do you know why though?
No? What happened?
There's a certain video game called Final Fantasy XIV
Oh, okay.
Endwalker. It's a new expansion, and the queues are like a million hours long. So
All
Oh
right.
jeez.
And
yeah, so
yeah, back to what I said.
the servers
you
are
know?
congested.
Understood.
You know, like
Understood.
keep on spinning is a different thing. But yeah,
Never forget your roots, though.
Oh god.
never.
Never forget your roots.
Oh yeah, that's why I stick with VNPS. Oh.
That's a good decision, sir.
Oh man. Yeah.
So yeah, that's Shonen's question.
Mm-hmm.
I going back to his question though, like it's mainly because like the forum culture is gone
Right.
that sort of forced us to
watch Mike,
reformat our
by the
way of
Mixed
communication.
together.
Oh, okay.
But there's also a generation gap, so it's like,
That's also one thing as well.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Twans245. I think he's also from Vietnam as well, right?
Who? Tons?
Wait,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
he?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What do you think about aestheticism in competition? I mean, use it in competition, World Cup, and World Tournament. Which is better? Which is better?
I mean, it's still a experimental feature, right? So
In a sense, aestheticism is already in competition in the form of presentation and execution. I think there is no less or no more than that.
yeah, fair, that's fair.
And I think it's a necessary component in pen spinning because our format is in video.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't need aestheticism, it's basically, I think it's the same thing as saying just submit a paragraph of breakdown
Right.
as a world tournament,
Ew.
and I don't know, I don't really
Elementary
see.
notation or something,
Yeah.
like just like with a sheet music, like freaking.
Yeah,
You get minus points for misnotating a trick.
Oh, okay, and that's gonna trigger RPD.
Yeah, it's like theoretically you cannot connect that 1 to 5 using this trick.
Oh God.
It is impossible.
Oh, it's not doable.
And that's why I
Therefore-
say you need like a combination of both theory things and practical things with life
Right.
considerations to really create like a really good like pen spinning, I guess, in general, like concept or whatever, and really display it. Like obviously someone like Drowsy, right, who has had experience and really diversified fishing and all that stuff, has like lots of ideas of it, and he took it and made it like a reality, right?
Right. In both senses, right? Yeah. Theoretical and
Yeah,
practical.
like you people will never know until you actually film the damn thing and show it off to people. Like,
Yeah.
until then, it's like it's not even a concept. That's just
It's a
like
myth.
yeah, it's a myth.
Okay.
Pen spinning in VR. Next step. What do you think?
Oh, are you gonna have those freaking like? It's gonna be like what, Second Life or something, and or like VR chat where you get anime girls spinning now again.
VTubers.
And
Remember those
We-
videos back in the day,
we had-
Tigres, where there's
we-
just
we-
random
we had
CG anime girls
had
like
that,
spinning?
yeah. We had that.
What's the name? Like
I-
Poro or something? I think he did one of those like
Think
anime.
so.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't
forgot.
remember what it was, but I think the video is gone.
Okay.
Like
I know
Supiko, I think. I think that was her
Iteza
name.
and Laku made
Oh
the
yeah. That was
VTuber
so-
thing kind of a little bit as well. And there's this also other Japanese dude who's like some weird demon girl anime VTuber, and I'm just like, all right.
Oh, he's talking about. Wait, who? What's the name? Oh, never mind.
I don't know. What is this? Who is this person? I feel like is this like a spam bot? I
Oh,
don't mean any
Teruo.
offense. I
Teruo.
don't mean any offense to this person, Charlotte
Yeah.
Kennedy. If this is like a spam thing, but I'm just no offense to you if you were saying something, but I'm just gonna I'm
Charlotte
gonna remove
Kennedy.
this comment just in case. So
Where
let me
is
know if
that?
there's
Oh
issues.
wait, I was only clicking on live chat. I was on top chat. Never mind.
Oh, but yeah, that's about it for the questions, right?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Are we
Oh,
gonna
I
wrap
just
it up
noticed
now, or-
Padra saying U.S. elections are trash. They should not be used as a standard. Yeah, I agree with that, but like I think the structure could be used in some way.
The diversity
But, that's a
of
lot of,
opinions, right?
but it's not
Yeah.
likely. It's not likely, so
Mhm.
don't worry about that.
Oh,
Are we gonna wrap it up, guys? Is
yeah.
this the
We
end?
should, yeah. Been like
Alright.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
All right, let's change it to the end screen, guys. The melancholy end screen.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching Kai and Hobby Talks.
thank
This
you.
is the finale episode. Thank you so much to Akai for like being with me on this journey of this entire year, and of course, Tigres for being a friend to the podcast. Thank you guys for taking interest to what we talk about. And there might be, we'll see what happens, but there might be Akai Hobby Talks in the future. There might not be. There might be other projects that are coming out. So if you want to follow Akai, there's the Twitter link and YouTube in the description if you want to see what he's up to in the future and what projects he's up to. For me, I also have my Twitter and YouTube there as well. And obviously, I'm in the workshop, so you can feel free to join that. With Tigres, he told me that he didn't want to be put in the description, so you can advertise yourself if you'd like.
Just search SLS.
Just search SLS.
Oh
I
man.
thought you didn't want to talk about that.
And you'll find me there.
But yeah, Jonathan is well known for his SLS linkages, and it's actually a pretty decent resource, I think, for new spinners, but he just doesn't like the breakdown, I think, and or like how you broke it down or how you talked about it.
Honestly, this feels like the end of the year and the end of the podcast already, and I might start crying after this, but I
Yeah,
get
really,
emotional.
Thank you guys so much. For sure, like both
Thank
of
you
you
guys.
and also everyone who's watching right now.
Yeah. And again,
hope
thank
you guys have a good holiday. You know, take care, everyone, and yeah, guys. Well, we'll see you around. We're not gonna disappear from the community, at least, but this show will be ending for sure.
Yeah, and thank you, Hobby. Thank you, Tigres, for being here.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thanks for both of you.
And thank you
For
for the
inviting.
audience. Yep. I'll see you guys later.
All right, take care, everyone. Have you a
care.
good holiday.
Happy holidays.
And
Happy
have a good
holidays.
new year as well.
Yep, 2022. All right.